All right, welcome to a new session of 2024. It's English language. The course code is 1123. You guys are quite familiar. The paper pattern is completely changed, which I'm going to definitely reveal today. And we will be directly, moving towards the paper pattern. Why to choose Cambridge International? You guys know, it is basically for the 14 to 16 or 16-year-old students, and it is an internationally recognized qualification, right? It has been designed especially for international market and is sensitive to the needs of different countries. So the people who are, basically studying this in Pakistan, they are doing everything, we are shaping the students, doing everything by their own. It actually enhances your creativity. It enhances your, written expression, your vocabulary. So the aim is entirely different, in O levels. You know that we read a wide range of texts, we get better in fluency, and it already, you're already aware that we hit, four strands in it. Not only the reading and writing, we basically sharpen up our listening and speaking skills as well. So then it comes to reading and writing. All right. So, my dear students, you guys can see clearly here. Let me just, write it. I would request you all to please just mute yourself so there won't be any, distraction in between, and everybody can hear each other quite appropriately, right? Okay, let me just present my screen once again so I can write and explain you the whole paper pattern. All right. Am I presenting my screen, students? I want you to please respond in between as well. The main thing is that you have to respond in between. Can you see
No,
me?
miss, it's not.
Can you see me writing?
Miss, it's not visible.
Okay, let me just do it once again. Wait.
No, miss.
Okay. Now can you see me writing?
Yes, miss.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, that's perfect. Paper one is basically, we have altogether two papers in it. It's paper one and paper two. All right. Now, paper one is basically, the time is 2 hours. All right. And it is a reading paper. Reading paper weightage is 50% and writings paper weightage is also 50%, right? We have marks for each paper is 50. All right. So it's all together like 100 marks. But paper one, we give on a separate day. Paper two is on a separate day, right? So we prepare for paper one in a complete detailed manner, touching all the strands of it. And paper two has entirely different, pattern. Got it? In paper one, structured and extended writing questions. So the main purpose of paper one is that it assesses your reading abilities. How perfectly you give a reading, and then you are going to extract the answers from it exactly, whatever the writer has actually, demanded from you. But whereas in paper two, writing, they asks you to show yourself, express yourself, and write as much as you can. All right, because the word limit here, it is an extended word limit, right? But here we have an extended writing question, we have structured questions, we have short and long both questions in paper one. All right, so now I'm going to just directly, move towards the question paper and reveal that to you without wasting even a single minute. I'm sure this is quite, clear to you guys that what was paper one about and what was paper two. It was just a general, crux which I have given you. Did you get an idea? All right. Now let's jump
Yes, miss.
deep into it that what is actually, paper one and paper two. Let me screen share once again. All right, my dear students. Now tell me, can you see my screen?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so paper one, basically we have, reading paper, I
जी मैडम.
already told you. And in paper one, we have an insert before that. We have an insert. What is the meaning of insert? Insert is basically, it contains all the reading assessment questions where we are going to, all the reading material, where we are going to, read it is based on all the reading material where we are going to read in detail, and then we are requested not to write our answers on it, and then we have another question paper where from where we used to attempt it. So this insert has basically two texts in it further. Text A has another name, and from this text A we are requested to complete question number 1 and 2 on the question paper, right? But question number 1 and 2 are also in detail. The question number 1 has all short questions and it was the writer's effect question. The question number 2 basically based on the summary questions and the interview questions, right? Then we have like it's entirely the different thing. I'm going to show you that. And then we have text B. Text B has another topic. Text B has another different topic. Like here, text B has the topic of a night among the trees. We are going to give a detailed reading. Why have they mentioned? Please mute yourself. I would request you to please mute yourself in between. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand by clicking on that raising hand option and then ask me. All right. I would request you to please tell me about why these numbers are mentioned on the right side. Kindly just tell me why have they given us these numbers on the right side? Can anybody tell me? Yes, please. Why have they mentioned these numbers? Any idea? Okay, so basically, they have mentioned these numbers so we can, give. Okay, I have got.
Ma'am, these are because in for the question, sometimes it is written in front of the question from where you have to relate from the
Yes,
passage.
from exactly from where you have to relate, you have to give the reference basically from the question, the exact line. So when you're picking the reference from the exact line, so you need the line number for that. All right. And even when we are not giving the reference of the line number, the writer already, the examiner, the question paper already has the designed questions in which they have mentioned, the answer, extract the answer from line number 1 to 4. So we have to extract the answer from the exact lines, right? So it is basically for the reference. All right, moving on towards, ending up this text, we are going directly towards the question paper. Can you see the question paper? Am I presenting my screen? Yes, can you see the question paper?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, that's great. All right, so the question paper for paper 1 reading is something like that. We have 2 hours. I already, have told you. You have to use a black or dark blue pen. You have to write your name, center number, and candidate number in the boxes at the top of the page. These are here. We are definitely going to reinforce these things again and again towards the, mid and the ending of the session. But it's just the beginning, just telling you all the, details. Moving on towards the question paper. The question paper is something like that. As I told you already that we have the text A named nameless, all right? The text A was nameless and there's an entire detailed story in that text A. And from that text A, we have these short questions. So the questions are designed something like that. In what way is the structure of redwood trees the opposite of most trees? We have to extract our answers from line number 2. Can you just give some time to do it? I would want my students to please just do this question number 1 and write the answers in the chat box. I'm going to present you now the text. Just please take the screenshots of this question. In what way is the structure of redwood trees the opposite of most trees? Giving you time to take the screenshot of question number part A. Got it? All right, shall we proceed towards the text? Now, this is the text, and you have to extract your answers from, the text A, line number 2. What will be your answers? Please just mention in the chat box. Yes, exactly. Just please mention in the chat box. Have you taken the screenshot from of the question? In what way is the structure of redwood trees the opposite of most trees? Okay. Redwood trees could live forever than 2,000 years. All right. We can also write this, that they could live for 2,000 years. And also, we can write that they are the world's largest, they are the world's tallest living trees. So they have mentioned redwood trees can live for more than 2,000 years. And also, they are the world's tallest living trees. Specifically, we are going to mention from line number 2, but keeping in mind that they have, giving us 2 lines, and also this contains 1 mark. So at least, some of the important information should be embedded into it. All right. Okay, moving on to the next question. Somewhere they have given us the questions using your own words. Somewhere they have told us, to exactly take out from the line that they have mentioned. So where they have mentioned using your own words, try to explain the text by using your own words from exactly from that line. It's all about transforming the words, transforming the sentence structure, and that's not at all a big deal, right? Moving on towards the next question, some of the questions includes mention the 2 features from the enormous trunk of nameless, give 2 details. So you have to extract exactly those 2 details and features from the text, and it's not at all a difficult thing. You guys can do it. It's all about, practicing. And then keep on, checking this thing that, they have mentioned from in a chronological order from the beginning till the end. They are going to tell you to extract this from line number 18, line number 22, and write the answers. These were all the short question answers. All right. These were all the short question answers which we were doing, and these are not at all difficult to do because we have to, it's more like a comprehension passage. I'm sure this is quite clear to all the students who are listening. All right. Okay, moving on towards, the next part of it. This is a question number 2. Then in question number 2, my dear students, we got, the extracted lines from the text. So when we got the extracted lines from the text, we are requested to refer back to the lines, and it is all about, the brainstorming. You go back to the lines, you go back and you just read a little bit forward as well, and then you explain that what does the writer want to suggest to us about the situation at this point in the story. So it is very easy. So let's suppose if we are going to do this task right now, and I would want you to please take the screenshots. He felt gravity go to zero. The world stopped. Moo watched the branch of the large redwood approach in slow motion and saw his fingers extend towards it. So how are you going to explain these 2 lines? You need to refer back to those lines. These are line numbers 45 to 46. We are going to directly move towards the line numbers 45 to 46. Here we are. This was the text, and you are going to read it and explain me in your own words what they are telling in these lines. Come on, quickly. Hurry up. I request you to please explain in your own words. Ali Zarkash, please just do it in the chat box. Yes, are you writing this in the chat box?
Ma'am, I didn't get the answer.
Okay, fine. So I can explain you that. You haven't written the answer. Okay, fine. Let me explain you. They are saying that he felt gravity go to zero. It means the world stopped, move, watched the branch of the large wood approach in slow motion, and he saw his fingers extend towards it. So you are going to explain that in these lines, the writer wants to suggest us that Mu was stuck in an arduous situation, in a difficult situation. There was a jerk, and he found himself hanging from the branch by both hands. He was, trying to hold himself back from the both hands, but his feet were kicking him in the air, and he was swinging all over from the trunk of the tree. All right, this is going to be the exact answer which you're going to write in these 2 lines by explaining in your own words. Right now, I'm not going to write the sample answer here, but of course, in the upcoming sessions, I'm going to write few of the sample answers for you to make it a bit more easier. right? And then somewhere in the questions, explain why the writer uses the word stronger rather than strong in the expression a stronger branch. You're going to explain it by referring back to lines, the exact lines, all right? And these are, and then there is another question where they have, given us explain, identify one example from the text below of how the writer uses language effectively to convey Moo's feeling after Moo has lost sight of the ground. So how are you going to do this task? Let me just take out this typing tool and explain you this task is a little bit, confusing. And students get stuck here. This is a 3 marks question. And let me just screen share once again. Okay, can you see my sniping tool?
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
जी ma'am.
Let me just present it again. I haven't presented the sniping tool.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, fine. Okay, fine. So, this is the questions, my dear students, that we basically, the students get stuck in. Okay, can you guys see me writing here?
जी ma'am जी.
Yeah.
With which color pen I'm writing?
Red color.
All right, that's perfect. That means you can see that. Okay, identify one example from the text below of how the writer uses language. So here, when we are talking about, the language, then we have to extract one of the example. We got a whole paragraph here, my dear students, and from it, we are going to like easily take out any example. So let's suppose if I'll took out this example, flaky, gray, green, and brownish plants in all manner of shapes. So I'm going to write exactly this example here. Exactly, you're going to write this example here without any of the, any changings. Flaky, gray, green, and brownish plants. All right, let's suppose, this is the example if I wrote, but I'm going to consider till here in all manner of shapes. Okay. Explanation. How are we going to explain it? In these lines, the writer has embedded an imagery of colors, through which he's explaining the plants and the nature, basically the nature he's explaining. So in these lines, the writer has embedded an imagery of colors in a flamboyant manner. We actually need to play with the words. So we use the advanced level words, which is something very important in O-levels English. We are not going to use the basic level wordings. I'm going to share some basic to advanced level, lists with you guys. So this will be very helpful for you to, reach to the advanced level English. Because in O-level English, the teacher definitely is not going to accept your basic level, expression. Your expression should be an advanced level. Then you're going to definitely achieve these marks. In these lines, the writer has embedded an imagery of colors in a flamboyant manner, explaining, identifying, picturing. Maybe yes, Aliza Kash, what do you want to say?
Ma'am, can be the branches drippy, frizzy, stringy, and hairy be part of the example?
No, we just have to pick up, the example till the comma ends up. We can actually, do it, but, we need to see how much line we have. We have just one line. We have to just extract one example that could go till manner of shapes. That's it. Hung from branches, drippy, frizzy, stringy, and hairy could be another one. It could be added
Right.
in the another one, right? So we're going to explain because drippy, frizzy, stringy, all these adjectives are going to be explained in another manner. And these are just the colors which the writers has explained. So we need to see like, from which example the writer is explaining which point. We're going to do that first. All right. So an imagery of colors in a flamboyant manner explaining the nature's beauty. Bear me with my handwriting and the spellings. Beauty, right? Beauty and the various shapes All right. So here we are going to achieve, here we'll be achieving all the things in it. We need to structure the sentence by explaining all, like we explain flaky, gray, green, brownish plants. So it's colorful imagery and in all manner of shapes that and the various shapes. Just embedding that, you are going to be achieving the whole, task. Okay. Am I clear to every single person who is here? Moving on to the next task. Let me just present again. And it is going to be, furthermore, we have the text B. From the text B, we have another question, and that is basically, the summary question. Here we have the question from text B, a night among the trees. Now we have done doing the section A, we have done the text A. Now we'll be moving towards reading the text B. We are going to first giving the reading of text B, then we'll be moving towards the question number 3, which is all about the summary writing. So, my dear students, this is summary writing is an entirely different task. This summary writing task is not the one which you guys used to do in your 7th or 8th grade. This is entirely different. We have to reach 150 words. Avoiding to waste any single word, we are going to, achieve this task because this task contains, 20 marks. So the actual weightage in paper 1 reading is of the summary writing task. It is going to be a continuous writing task. We are not going to do this in the list form. The summary means you're going to extract the keywords from the paragraph, underline that from your pen, and then explain it in your own words. Got it? Because here the writer has clearly explained us that use your own words where appropriate. Avoid copying long sections of the text. You can copy a little bit, of the by putting the inverted commas that here in this expression the writer has identified, maybe whatever the writer has identified, you can extract, a small phrase from the text, but not the long sections of the text. It means that you're doing the copy pasting, then definitely you won't get marks. You can only get marks when you are using your own words to explain, but use your own words where appropriate, and don't forget the text, right? Okay, so summary should be no more than 150 words. 10 marks available for the content of your answer and for the quality of your writing. Okay, so if I'll ask you guys, what comes under the quality of your writing, how are you going to explain me? Yes, we are actually running short of time, so here I'm explaining, paper 1. Tomorrow we'll be explaining paper 2, but I want you to please explain me first what comes in the quality of your writing.
Ma'am, sort of punctuations,
Hmm.
conjunctions, etc.
Yes, exactly. So, in other words, we're going to write SPAG, which will hit all those things, the spellings, because we are giving the, language paper, it's English. We are not going to do any single spelling mistake. So, for that, we are requested to, proofread our work. Proofread means Proofread means to reread your work. All right. Punctuation. P stands for punctuation and G stands for grammar. So your grammar should be on point. If you are using the past tense, if you are explaining the narrative, that should all go in the past tense. If you are following the present tense, then you are going to, stick to the same tense. So spelling, punctuation, and grammar could make your quality better. And also, what comes in punctuation, why these punctuation carry, weightage? They actually, breaks the monotony. We have to put the full stop, commas, inverted commas, exclamation marks where required, so as to break the monotony. Like, let's suppose when we are reading the novels, it is not written in a flat writing. We always write it in a form of, using these punctuations so as to break the monotony, right? Am I clear to everyone who is listening?
जी ma'am.
Okay, that's perfect. So this was
Yes,
all,
ma'am.
hmm, for paper 1, and it includes more things as well. I have all the resources with me. I'm going to definitely share you that as well. Okay, now let me just screen share once again so as to move on towards the last question of the paper, and that is an interview question. Okay, so this question is also a little bit, technical, and how we need to give a reading to it. So main thing is that if you are reading the questions in a perfect manner, then you can easily attempt it. Imagine you are Kent Lindwell, one of the owners of the hotel. You are interviewed by a local news program about the effect that hotels are having on the forest environment. Now you're going to give your answer to interview's question. You are an interviewee. All right, you are getting you are sitting in a maybe a TV telecast and you are being interviewed by a person. Now you are going to share your opinions and reasons why in that interview. And this is a 5 marks question, 20 marks. How comes 25? 20 marks for the summary writing, right? And 5 marks for the interview questions. And same is the case with the A part. Text A, text A is of 25 marks. Text B is of 25 marks. Then that becomes, a 50 marks question paper. All right. So, this interview question is all about that you are being, some local people think that your tree hotel might have a negative effect on our forest environment. And what is your opinion? Why? Now you're going to mention your opinion in a proper structured answer. All right. Okay, showing you a little bit a glimpse of paper two as well, so as to achieve that. But tomorrow, inshallah, we're going to have another demo session. You can join that, so then we can discuss that. Is there any question which you guys want to ask? Any questions from paper one? Please just let me know. Is it clear that how we need to attempt this paper one? What are the details in it? Did you understand it?
Ma'am, can you go to question number 1?
Okay, fine, sure. Sure. Can you see the question number one?
Ji.
Hmm.
The part A, in what way is the structure of redwood trees the opposite of the moss trees? It suggests we have to go to line 2.
Yes.
In line 2, it shows. Ma'am, can you go there, please?
Sure. Yes, we're here.
It just says 2000 years. It can live up to 2000 years. But the tallest living trees, it is in the third line.
It's okay. It's okay.
So the only option.
We can add up something from the third line as well because it's connecting that answer. That information starts from the towards the end of line number 2. So we can refer it to it because it includes in line number 2, right?
Sure.
So,
Right.
because that becomes line number 5. So through that, definitely it's the part of line number 2. All right. So this was all from my side. We are left with less than 1 minute. I'm ending up my session. I hope the paper one is quite clear to you. Tomorrow, we're going to have a complete session on paper number 2. And I would want you all to please join that session. And also, the form will be shared with you guys. So you can fill it and, then start joining. And we're going to then begin the batch from the month of July. Thank you so much. This was all from my side. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, madam. Thank you.